Good morning. Welcome to the first ever Cricket Cafe podcast, which is the affiliate podcast of Gummy Cub Productions. Today I'm joined with my very good friend, Thomas Kenney.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about Gummy Cub Productions, which is our new venture. And we're also going to be talking about the projects we have already done and what will be coming up in the future. So on Halloween, Gummy Cub Productions uploaded its first ever audio drama, The Man in the Lighthouse, which is a fully dramatized version of Thomas's short horror story of the same title, The Man in the Lighthouse. So today we just wanted to talk a little bit about the makings of, the behind the scenes, what went into that project, and just what to expect from Gummy Cub in the future. So you were the director of that project. Do you want to sort of take it away?
Yeah. The Man in the Lighthouse started as I was taking recording classes at Mendocino College, and it was for my final. One day I thought why don't I just narrate my own book? Then I can just put my content out there without, having to rely on a bunch of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, well, why don't I just make it my final as well? And so it got halfway done, because it was nearly 40 minutes of recording.
It's a very substantial audiobook.
But I still got credit for it, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter.
A+.
And then come a year later, after forming Friends Anonymous, which is my band, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And during COVID, I decided, you know what? Why don't I just make something where I can just put my art, other people's art, and just share it with the world. And so I already had the name Gummy Cub Productions. Don't ask me what it means. And so I'm like, okay, I'll just go with that name. It's kind of cute. It's,
quirky.
Yeah, it's quirky. It's cute. And so
It'll be easy to market.
Yeah, and I brought it up to Jas, and she was in on it, and she wanted to help me out with projects.
Yeah, I had already been one of the characters in The Man in the Lighthouse from a year ago.
Yeah.
And then this year it was like, all right, let's redo it, but go hard.
Well, we didn't redo it.
But we improved upon it.
Yeah, I
Heavily
went back and fixed some audio. I originally, like, little details, like, I think we're skipping ahead a little bit, but
whatever.
Yeah. So COVID happened. We decided to make this, and I'm like, okay, why don't we? I already have a project that's nearly done, and that was The Man in the Lighthouse. And so I was like, okay, well, why don't I just finish that, and that'll be our first.
Touches on it, yeah.
That'll be our first project, and there was a week where I just went hard.
That was all you did.
Yeah.
For like hours.
3 days.
Yeah.
It was just so close to being done, and it was. I swear that. Not only was it a learning experience, but it was cursed, I swear. Like,
oh yeah, with the Foley work that we had to.
First off, I went back to it. I'm like, okay, let me check it out. Let me listen through it again. And then I realized a bunch of audio files were just gone.
Yeah.
At some point, I must have deleted them from my flash drive or something. Luckily,
something with
none
all
of
the new equipment.
Luckily, it was all Foley. Right.
Yeah.
But luckily, it was all Foley. It was stuff I could just redo.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the narration
or like these great acting moments that we'll never get back or anything like that.
Right. Luckily, it wasn't that. And so I'm like, okay, those, boo-hoo, I'll get over it.
Yeah.
And so I went back and started redoing everything. And then I picked up this, I saw that the Zoom H8, that's like the newest version of the Zoom, was coming out. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have one. that thing looks amazing.
Yeah.
It can do music. It can do podcasting.
Yeah,
It can do
a Zoom, for
Foley.
those who don't know, is a portable recording device.
I think it's in the frame of the shot. It's right here. I can actually show you.
Ta-da. It's our pet spider.
Yeah. And it's crazy. You can get attachments. It's got a bunch of mic inputs. We're not sponsored by Zoom.
Not sponsored by Zoom.
I think we should make that clear.
No sponsorships.
Not yet. But anyway, I'm my brain goes a trillion miles per hour,
Yeah.
so I'm very tangential. Anyway, started redoing the Foley, and then I went to put what I had done into the tracks, and I realized most of them were too quiet because I was
Yeah.
trying to avoid ambient sound.
That was before we got the wind guard, right?
Right.
And you learned about what the threshold
I
was
could- yeah.
for the recording.
I experimented with the gate, which is essentially it will only let in sound that is loud enough.
Yeah.
So if you have like cars on the freeway going in the background or
Yeah.
whatever, you can just adjust it just enough to where the cars disappear.
Yeah.
So
So
that
it'll
when you're
only
recording, it'll only be what
get
you're
right,
aiming at,
what's right there.
which is really helpful. But they were all too quiet, and there were at least 100 of them. So I could only use a few of them, and then I had to record like 80 more.
Yep. We had to go to the beach.
We got to go to the beach.
We got to go to the beach, which was very fun.
Yeah,
we went
that
out
was-
early in the morning.
I think that was the first thing we did with the Zoom.
No, first we went to the Lake Mendocino,
Yeah.
and recorded all of that stuff. And because we
Ended up
we
not
didn't
being able
have
to
the
use
wind
that.
guard, and we didn't know about the threshold yet, and so you could hear all the cars. There was this army of geese that
Yeah.
that were being deployed, 10 geese at a time, and it took them
was
about an
wild.
hour to completely deploy all of the geese. And so in most of those tracks from the first day we went out with the Zoom, there's just geese and cars in the background.
Yeah.
Which was incredibly
We
frustrating.
ended up not using it. It sucks because it was the perfect river sound. But
Yeah. But then we also got to go explore this little off the highway. We had to climb down
It was
into
fun.
this riverbed.
it was a fun little
That was fun.
adventure.
A good scouting.
All in all, I learned a lot from this project, and from here on out, it's just gonna go like that.
It is pretty amazing, even with all of the setbacks, if you factor in how much time you put in last year when you started it, and how much time got put into it this year. It really only was a week or two of work
Yeah.
that went into it
Yeah.
to make a 40-minute fully dramatized audiobook,
Yeah.
which is very impressive.
Hmm.
Pat on the back to the team.
Yeah. And I got help from Jas, obviously. I didn't have her the first time, so the first time I was literally doing everything myself, which was fun. But this time, whoops. Mistakes were made. But Jas helped me out this time, and also my roommate Blake, he's right down the hall. He helped me out with some of the stuff. He did a little bit of voice acting as well, a teeny bit.
Yep.
And then Jas and I, we worked on the music together.
Yep.
And that was really fun too.
We also had some local actors
Yes.
that the folks back home will know.
Yes.
We had Eddie Hale
Eddie Hale, wonderful,
and-
as Shepherd the Ferryman.
and Philip Henneberry as Philip Lilly,
Yeah, he was like the young strapping lead
Yeah.
character.
which originally you played, but you decided
Yes.
that you wanted to have a different voice in there.
Yeah, just to give it a little more dynamic.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't really care for my performance as Philip. I could have redone it and been like, okay, this is much better. But
Yeah.
I wanted to invite other people.
Yeah. A more
To-
collaborative project rather
Right.
than you busting it out to get
Right.
to turn it in for your class.
It's also nice being an artist and a behind the scenes person,
Yeah.
because when I'm the artist, there's more pressure to perform,
Mm.
you know, and you're kind of in the spotlight. But when I'm like behind the scenes and I'm just recording people in the studio,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, read it this way, or directing people, like,
Yeah.
say it as if someone just killed your dog or something,
You're facilitating the performing.
Right. There's a lot less pressure, and it's easier to be collaborative in that sense.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I come from a place of preferring to be backstage. I have my degrees in theater, but I definitely prefer to be backstage rather than on stage.
Yeah.
And so getting to work, learning to do more behind the scenes things in a media that I've never worked with before has been really fun.
Yeah, I hope this has been easy to follow. I know I've been all over the place. I'm not I don't know.
We didn't want to have a script.
I'm very much a main point, side note kind of guy.
Mostly side notes.
Yeah. But it comes together in the end. That's all that matters. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, please do so.
Yeah.
You can find it on our channel. It's Gummy Cub Productions.
It's the only video besides this video.
Yeah.
Well,
soon.
Is this podcast going to be put out before the other projects get done?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah.
At the time of this recording, the only video on the channel is Man in the Lighthouse.
Right.
You can't miss it.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's there.
It's like, hey, come look at me.
But no, it's really fun. Some suspense. It's safe for children.
Yeah.
It's not gory. There's no swearing or profanity or anything like that.
It's just in writing the story, I wanted it to be an homage to just, it's almost as if I wanted people to go through a haunted house.
Yeah.
Without going through a haunted
Creaky
house.
floorboards and
right.
spooky old men.
Shouts in the dark.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
That was like one of the main ways that I wanted to write it.
Yeah. You definitely feel it a lot from the main character's perspective, which I think is good because it kind of puts you in his shoes and you're sort of going on this journey with him.
Yeah.
Through all these spooky things.
Yeah.
One thing to mention is that you did write this last year, and a very well-known movie that came out last year was The Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering if you had started writing that before, or if it was just a coincidence that came out at the same time.
I had not seen the movie, but I had seen the trailer, and I was like, I love that aesthetic.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a lighthouse and an old man. Like,
yeah.
That's all I knew about the lighthouse at the time. And that actually ended up being one of my favorite horror films, but also just films in general.
Yeah.
Once I finally saw it.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It's so a little bit
yeah.
based on it. Just aesthetically,
yeah.
I stole.
Yeah. The black and white.
Gruff old.
Black and white lighthouse.
Sailor man. Right.
Aesthetic.
Right.
Yeah.
Gruff old sailors and,
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for that interruption. Anyway.
They won't know.
No. They'll never know what happened. But yeah, back to the lighthouse. I was, one thing I liked about it was it ended up not being perfect. I mean, nothing's perfect, but not what I envisioned. Like it's teeny details.
Mostly with sound effects, right?
Yeah, but also like the visual, that's the actual painting, by the way, that's on the video done by Jas Byerley. What is that? It's a
lighthouse.
No. What did you use?
It's acrylic on canvas.
Okay.
Thank you. Not sponsored by Michael's craft store.
And but the image during the video, if the contrast is up on your screen, you can actually see where the image ends on the right side.
It's too small for the screen size.
And I've only just gotten to video editing, so I'm not great, but I can get something presented.
Yeah. So I
but
now
that's one
have
thing.
Larger canvases.
Yes.
And larger watercolor paper.
That but also like we were talking about last night because we had a fire.
Oh yeah.
We were hanging out with our roommate.
There's no fire.
My roommate and we were all just chilling with the doggies and I was like, oh man, I wish I could have recorded this for the story. And Jas was like, what do you mean? What story? I was like, the lighthouse, because there's a fire in spoiler, the old lighthouse watches.
He has a fire
shack.
going.
He has a fire going.
Groundbreaking spoiler.
Yeah, but
But
just teeny things like that, and like
that no one would ever notice.
some levels, yeah, and I think overall it's a little too quiet.
Yeah.
You know, you have to really like listen to it with headphones or like.
Yeah, some of the balancing between the voice acting and the music and the different, because there's
I did
multiple,
as best as I could.
There are multiple Foley tracks going all the time, pretty much constantly.
Yes.
And so the balancing of those to try to make it sound like the appropriate level for that specific one, but also not wanting it to be too loud to drown out the other one. So. And
that's partly because I gave myself a due date.
Yep.
I said it has to be done on Saturday. Which
was Halloween.
And I'm like, it's done, and I'm posting it on Halloween.
We wanted this because it's a spooky. And because it was almost done. Yeah. We made this our first monthly project. It was for October. It was due on Halloween.
You should talk about
monthly projects.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh yeah,
just
so
since we're going there.
We don't have a specific like uploading schedule because obviously different types of projects will take different lengths.
And we work.
And yes, we also work full time.
Me less than her.
I work more full time. He does, so he's the one who actually is here doing most of the work for the projects, while I'm off making money.
Doing important things, adult things.
Yeah, yeah.
Not silly art.
But no, it is good
baby stuff.
Because you do have the time, because you don't work as much, you do have the time that you need to actually put what you want into the projects. So it's not just like, oh, I'm too tired on Saturday, so I'll just work on Sunday and then go back to work for a whole week. You actually have several days off in the middle of the week that are just for projects. Mm-hmm. So he does work full time, just doing different jobs.
Yeah, and one I don't get paid for.
Yet.
No.
But yeah, so we decided that
hopefully, eventually, I'd like this to be.
Yeah, we're
what
hoping
I do
that
for a living.
Yeah, we're both performing artists, and because of COVID, we can't go do our stage performances. We can't do our dance or our plays or anything like that.
At least not in a crowded venue. We can get like a select.
Not the way that we're used to. So like I was in the middle. I was a week out from opening night of Midsummer Night's Dream, and we got canceled. Yeah. So a lot of this community is very arts and performance heavy, and everything got canceled, and so it was kind of devastating. I feel like
a lot of people are just sitting around waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, and so this was our way of doing something, anything.
Yeah, we used it as motivation.
Yeah, an opportunity to build up the studio. Yeah. Because pretty much before COVID, you just had a couple microphones and your musical equipment. And
now I have
everything. A lot.
I'm only a few things away from having like a studio I could charge people money for.
A fully functioning studio, which is one of the goals that eventually, when things settle down with COVID and we've done some more of our own projects, we can open up the studio to other local bands, other people who would like our help, producing things.
And that was like the second most important thing for me making this production company was the first one was I want to put my stuff out there so people can see it.
Yeah.
That's like the number one thing.
Yeah.
And then the number two thing was I want to collaborate with other people.
Yeah.
If people have projects like dancers or even theater or podcasts.
Yeah. We have the equipment now.
We can support that.
Yeah.
And I'd like to, invite other people.
Yeah.
Again, it's going to be a little while because we have to build ourselves up, show people what we can do.
Yeah. Prove ourselves and also
and COVID.
But yeah, so we decided to use COVID as an opportunity
rather than a setback.
Yeah. Granted, we did fall into a month or two of pretty epic depression.
Got pretty
After.
rough there.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was doing my dream role in Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was also the scenic artist, and I was a choreographer for the fairies. So I was very, very involved. And then it was just like, just kidding.
Yeah.
None of that gets to happen anymore. Plus, it was also like the last performance that a lot of our group who was still there was going to do together
like
before.
The entourage.
Yeah, we had this. Thomas was kind of first generation, and I am kind of second generation of this
And we're talking
group.
about Mendocino College.
Our theater department at the college. Thomas is first generation. I'm second generation. Of this really core group of performers who performed everything together at the college.
Dance, music, theater.
Yeah.
And, just giving a little background on ourselves, that's what we had been doing for several years.
Yeah.
Before, when we were younger, we had
teachers and a program to help us, and now we're kind of on our own, doing our own thing.
Yeah.
We trained
But I mean,
for
even
this.
before college, like, I picked up the guitar when I was like 10 or something. Just stuff like that. We had always been performing.
Yeah, I'm a singer. I've been singing since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
I started taking piano lessons when I was 6 years old, and did theater and some dance here and there all the way up through high school. And then when I got into college, I was like, yep, this is it.
This works.
This works.
Yeah, and I was a little bit backwards with the theater. I liked doing theater, but eventually got to the point where I wanted more. I wanted it to be more professional. I wanted it to be a tad more serious. I mean, it's a great program.
It is. It's a
particularly for beginner or intermediate.
Yeah, highly recommend. The staff there is incredible.
Very sympathetic, very
really
professional,
really supportive. They really know their stuff. Yeah.
That's a bunch of them have like their masters.
We have master's degrees, PhDs.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have your master's degree to teach at a community so that kind of goes without saying, but well-traveled, very experienced. We don't have any greenhorns teaching us.
Can recommend.
Highly recommend Mendocino.
The Mendocino College
Theater Arts Department.
It's what is it? It's the
Theater Arts Department.
No, like it's like the program.
Oh, the conservatory.
The conservatory. The Mendocino College Theater Conservatory.
Yeah, which is the core group of people who are dedicated to getting their degrees and getting like mentorship from the professors there.
Like if you want to be a dancer, if you want to be an actor, if you want to be a musician, you should join that. Yeah. Like if you know that's what you want to do with your life, you should join that.
And like I said before, this community is such a vibrant theater community that any of the small towns that you go to have their own.
And just art in general. There's
there's
tons of musicians, dancers.
We have ceramic artists and painters, quilters, artists. I don't know. Visual artists, quilters, everything. It's a really special community that we're in up here, and we want to be able to support other young artists like ourselves who maybe don't have
like mics or equipment or time,
and like even myself, because I have my own music that I'm working on, but I don't have any of this equipment, and so I'm relying on the production company to help me, even though I'm part of the production
and that's
company.
a big reason why it even exists. It's just I want to be able to help other artists who may have challenges or just can't afford it for whatever reason or don't have the time.
Or just even don't necessarily know how to go about it either, because I've been thinking about doing a podcast for like 2 years now, but just I didn't know what equipment to get. I didn't know if I could really afford to get the equipment. I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about or who I wanted to talk about it with. And so this ended up lending itself very well to sort of an idea that I had had for a long time.
Anyway, I was in that theater program for a while, and I wanted it to get a little more professional, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of just, moved away from it a little bit. Theater in particular. And my
I
original
literally moved away.
yeah, my yes, I had some health problems and I had to go away for a little while, and I did some life reevaluation during that time. You know, and my father was taking care of me, and I'm glad to say that I have really good support. And I'm very grateful. But anyway, without getting sappy.
We digress.
Yes. Like I said,
Thanks,
main
Dad.
point, side notes. Thank you, Dad. Love you.
Thanks, Dad.
Um,
Also, thanks to my mom for our bowl of gummy bears.
our rations.
She bought us a large bag of gummy bears.
This is literally all we can afford to eat for a month.
Please help us. We're starving.
We're not starving. What was I saying?
We literally showed our breakfast in the opening.
Maybe. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Oh,
Cut.
my original dream was to play music and be in a band, to front a band.
There it is.
And
Shameless
so
plug.
I kind of went back to that. Yeah, shameless plug. And so I met a guy named Casey McCarthy. He's a really well-rounded person, just a good human being.
And a great musician.
Yes. He's humble to a fault, I'd say. He's
Except when he's not.
He's wonderful.
Yes.
We
love
and
him
so I met
very
him
much.
in recording class.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I recommend Rodney Grisanti's recording and music theory classes at Mendocino College. He is he's done everything. He's been everywhere, but he's great. And so I met my who eventually became my drummer, Casey, and we formed what is now Friends Anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
And we started recording and playing together, and then later on.
It's raining.
Oh, anyway.
I think.
And then we originally had a bass player in mind, but because of COVID, she wasn't available.
Yeah.
And so our good buddy, Philip Henneberry, who also played.
Yeah.
Philip Lilly, are you seeing the connections?
It's a small group so far. We have a small team.
Yeah. It's kind of nice.
Small but dedicated.
Yeah. He sort of offered to stand in while we figured it out, but he's been doing a lot of good work as well.
Yeah, he's grown a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, check out Friends Anonymous too.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. We're okay at best. No. We're good at best and okay at worst. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave that there.
They're fine. But they perform largely originals.
Yes.
And keep a lookout in the next couple of months. Hopefully their first album will be coming out.
Yes, that's gonna be a huge
huge
project.
project.
We're aiming for a summer/fall 2021 release.
Yeah. But
everything's already written.
I've
already made demos for everything.
Yeah.
So we're just practicing now.
Yep.
But yeah, keep an eye out for that. So
That
that's sort of where we're at now.
Friends Anonymous is one of the larger continuing projects that Gummy Cub Productions is involved in.
Yeah. And just a small note, the uploads for the band will be on the band social media and YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You'll never really see that on Gummy Cub because
we just thought
we just
want to
keep it organized.
Yeah.
And it would make the Friends Anonymous channel a little obsolete if we did that.
Yeah.
So subscribe to both.
Yay. Shameless plug.
There's a fly.
Kill him. Guido, wake up. Eat the fly. This is
Guibo.
This is Guibo. He's our buddy.
Yeah, he's hanging out.
Sleepy.
Not sponsored.
Sponsored by Guibo.
It's flying. Oh, get it. Oh. He almost got it. He's really... Dogs are amazing. I love dogs, by the way.
He's
You'll see much. Subscribe for our dogs.
if
You
nothing
will see
else,
much of them.
they're the best dogs in the world.
We already have Old Man Rocky
Mhm.
and my dog Marley featured in our Friends Anonymous videos.
Yeah. Guido hasn't been in any of them, huh?
Mm-mm.
Yet.
I think this
He's
is no. He's been in
Podcast dog.
He's been in the VB birthday one at the end.
Oh
He was
yeah,
playing
because
with
they
Marley.
were fighting.
He's still going for it.
It hasn't
Anyway.
come back. Anyway,
We're getting sidetracked. Way sidetracked.
we love our dogs.
Yes. Oh.
Whiner.
He's comfy.
There's
But yeah.
it's just gonna be so many dogs. At some point.
Hopefully.
It's gonna overrun and take us over.
Hey man, when mankind inevitably fails, I say let the dogs
The
have
dogs will rise.
it. They won't even rise. They'll just be
Take their
here. And they're like, yeah, this makes sense. This is the natural progression of evolution.
Yeah. Anyway,
We have fun.
the original point that I was supposed to be
Hold on.
talking about
Just 1 second.
took
I think
20 minutes to
one
get
thing
back to.
we really want to get across for Gummy Cub and Friends Anonymous is that we want it to be fun.
We have
Regardless of if we're making a serious drama film or, we're doing a music shoot or whatever. We want there to be an aspect of fun.
Yeah.
So there might be like little clips of our dogs or
ghosts.
ghosts. Our toilet is haunted.
It flushes itself.
Anyway, you were saying.
So we do not have a regular upload schedule as of yet because of the varied nature of the projects that we're going to be doing. Like Tom said, we're doing not only audio dramas but also music and short films, hopefully coming soon. We will be doing short.
That's one thing.
We will.
You have if you're an artist, change your mindset from
Maybe
I want, maybe
if,
to I will.
and when.
It will. When.
Not if, when.
Yes.
Not maybe.
And I think that's part of what's really helped us as well. Just being like, okay, this is going to happen next week.
Yeah.
Or this is happening today.
Yeah.
And we just
do it. Yeah. Make sure that it gets done at all costs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have a regular upload schedule.
Let's see if she can get
Shut
through this point. Don't peek the microphone.
But peaks immediately. Our current goal for the channel is to have at least one project done a month, if not more.
One big project.
One large project. So we have another audio drama in the works. Plus maybe a couple other smaller things as well.
Keep an eye out. We might have 1 or 2 audio dramas coming up.
1.5 audio dramas.
And then in November, December, we're planning to shoot
a short film.
Our first short film.
Yeah. We also have some music, not Friends Anonymous music, coming out soon. We're doing some jazz on the side.
Yes. Featuring Friends Anonymous.
Featuring Friends Anonymous. Name of said jazz group to be announced.
Yes. Unless we're just like
I'm still
ensemble
coming up with one.
Or I imagine it'll probably be like
just be like Friends Anonymous does jazz.
Jazz does blah 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 featuring Friends Anonymous.
Oh, me jazz.
Yes.
Okay.
JAS.
JAS performs blah 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 featuring Friends Anonymous.
Could be fun if it was JAZ. Like nope, not fun. Okay.
It's not how my name is spelled.
I know, but it's like jazz with jazz.
May as well just go all out and put two Z's then.
That would get confusing.
Jazz with jazz.
Yeah.
Throwback to when we wanted to make the Jazz at 5, which was our vocal jazz ensemble at the college. Throwback to when we wanted to make our official photo, a photo of me at age 5.
What?
because the vocal jazz ensemble was called Jazz with 2 Z's
Oh,
at 5:00 because that's when our performance was. But then that turned into the
I
official
get it now.
name of the vocal ensemble, and we joked about making the program picture a picture of me at age 5.
Yeah.
That's a layered joke that no one in the audience would have understood.
I didn't even understand it.
And you know that story.
Yeah. I knew it at one point.
Yeah, so we've got a couple audio dramas that are getting worked on right now, getting edited, and we've got some voice actors coming in this week.
Yes.
Local fan favorites also.
Eddie will be
You'll
returning.
Be very excited
without spoiling.
with who is coming. We'll be very excited.
And we have another guest whose name starts with an O.
Don't make any promises, though.
Don't make any promises, though.
Don't make any promises.
I'm pretty sure he's going to show up. I trust him. But yes, Eddie will be returning.
Yeah, so we have 2 audio dramas in the works, a short music video, and a horror film. Well,
Thriller.
Spooky.
Thriller film.
Suspense.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff you
Psychological thriller.
Yeah, most of the stuff you do isn't really horror.
Yeah.
So much as like the suspense of you never know what's going on.
Yeah. I'm more of the guns being aimed at you rather than
Shooting
you got shot.
You got shot.
It's more like, the
Yeah.
build up to the bang rather than the bang.
Exactly.
I am a huge fan of horror.
So expect a lot of that coming soon.
Spooky stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be everything. But
No.
when it has my name stamped on it, it's
Most-
probably going to have
Most likely it'll be suspenseful.
Yeah, it's probably going to have some element of
highly likely.
some horror, yeah. Yeah, what else you got?
Kind of it.
Kind of
We did our shameless plugs.
puked everything out.
We did our shameless plugs for the college and for
The band.
band and for our
Oh.
channel.
Speaking of shameless plugs, we're hoping to have social media for Gummy Cub.
Yes. We're working on it.
Maybe when this is posted, we're not sure.
Yeah, we're working on it.
But we'll get that done.
Friends Anonymous is fully socially mediatized.
Yes.
There's
do you have the?
yeah. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Pretty much all at friends_anonymous_, except Twitter is friends anon, and Facebook is capitalized.
Facebook is. Oh, gotcha. That confused me.
You're like,
I'll just put it on the screen
it'll
somewhere.
Here's our social media
Just make it easier
for
for
Friends
everybody.
Anonymous. But yeah, we're going to be working on social media for Gummy Cub so that we can put out some shout outs and updates, new posts coming, videos out now, things like that.
So, and eventually we'll have a newsletter
Yeah,
for email,
that's
through email and
yeah,
stuff.
we have email.
We have an
but-
email set up, but
Yeah. So that's a project for a while down the road, as we'd like to
yeah.
eventually have a pretty set up schedule for each month and be able to send out a newsletter for those on the whoever is on the email list at that time.
Yeah.
To know what to be looking out for from the production company.
Yeah, I think that'll start when the next 2 projects are done, I'd say. There.
We're already starting to get a little bit more organized.
Yeah.
We're going to have a production meeting later today.
Yes.
So yeah, all of our theater training is starting to kick in, being
Our-
a little bit more organized.
It's really fun to be the performer, the artist, and
The producer.
the technician, the engineer, the producer, the director. It's really fun to do all of it, and that's just what I love to do. So I think this is perfect for what we want to do.
Jack of all trades. We're both very much jack of all trades, and so this is a really good outlet for us to be able to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and we want more jack of all trades to join us.
Come on over. We cannot pay you.
We can feed you.
Yeah.
We can't pay you.
That's a disclaimer that we've been giving
Yes.
to all of our performers who have
We're
been
like, we
coming
can't
into
pay
work
you
with us.
yet, but we can feed you.
You will get.
We'll take you to dinner.
You will be credited, and we will feed you pizza.
Yes. But eventually we would want to get to the point where we're pretty professional and
Stipends and stuff like that.
stipends, yeah.
But that's going to be obviously years down the road because the company has been alive for 2 months.
unless it just randomly blows up. You never know. But we do want to be as professional
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah.
That's one thing I try to carry this company with, and also just the band.
Yeah.
You know, we want to have fun, but we want to let people know that we're serious
Yeah.
about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the fly again.
Guido, get him.
Guibo, get him.
He's like, no, dude, I'm sleeping. Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Upcoming projects,
No.
stuff.
You're through all your notes and whatnot?
Yeah. I
Sweet.
think so. Yeah. So if you haven't already, go ahead and go check out The Man in the Lighthouse.
Go check out Man in the Lighthouse.
It's
Go
a
check
good
out
time. Check
Friends
out Friends
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Follow us on social media.
Maybe when things start opening up, go check out the college
Yes.
conservatory.
And they are still offering online classes
Yes.
if that is something that you're interested in.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
In person.
I don't know when the tentative date for reopening in-person classes is. I know that some of the elementary schools are going to hybrid in December.
Yeah.
I know that via my mother, who is an elementary school teacher in the county. But yeah, be on the
Go
lookout
check it out.
for other
And
projects.
please subscribe and, get involved. Leave comments. Leave a like. If you don't like it, leave a dislike. We'd prefer you not. But if
If that's your honest opinion,
Yeah.
that's okay.
no, everyone's just gonna dislike it.
Massive dislike.
Just just imagining like that being the gag. Like we put stuff out.
And it just like all
Like
it's
if we
all
got
dislikes.
if this got like more mainstream,
Yeah.
and the jokes just people dislike the video instead of liking it.
I hope not.
I hope.
Then everyone will be confused.
No, please
don't dislike the
please
video.
support us if you can. Eventually.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually, we're hoping that this is what we can do for a living.
Yeah, that's the
and
dream.
just
It's the pipe dream.
bring some smiles to people's faces.
Yeah, we're excited about what we're working on, and so we hope that comes through in the quality of work that we're putting out.
Yeah. Regardless of limitations.
Yeah, we're having to be very creative with
It's fun.
it is. We're having to
Even just with this little setup, I had to,
it's
do a bunch of finicking.
yeah,
and-
there a lot went into preparing
Yeah.
the podcast today. And also this podcast was kind of a mess, but it's just sort of an introduction to
Yeah.
who we are and what we're doing and the projects
Give
that
a
we're
sense
working
of
on, and
what's going on.
and I'm hoping to have some more structured interviews when we have
Yes.
other performers coming on, and maybe with other community members who have interesting points of view and opinions on things, especially as a
And it doesn't necessarily have to be art either. It could be,
No,
someone
like-
who wants to talk about politics or
yeah. For example, my mother is a school teacher in the middle of COVID, and
Right.
so what's that like, and
Yeah.
and how has that affected her students and her ability to teach well, effectively and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, just community members that we think are interesting and have things to say.
who want to share their stories.
Yeah.
It goes back to, we want to help people get their voices heard.
Yeah, this community has done a lot for us, and we want to be able to start giving back a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is the way that makes sense for us.
Yeah.
So,
We're going to work hard for it.
Yeah.
We already are.
yeah. I think that shows we work really hard on stuff.
But yeah. Maybe do a little outro. Do you have an outro planned or?
Sure don't.
It just cuts to black.
No, just basically, yeah. Thanks for being here. If you
Yes.
listened to this entire thing,
If you get this far, this
this was a
it was a mess. But if you get this
I
far,
blame you.
maybe leave a comment.
How far did you get?
Right. Like we have to do like a code word or something.
Made it. Done.
Made it.
Made it all the way through.
Made it, comma, done, exclamation point. If you made it all the way through, put made it, comma, done, exclamation point. Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's lame.
But yeah,
If you
listen
hung
all
out
the way
with us
all the way through,
for
thank
however
you.
long this has been,
Yes,
thank you.
sincerely, thank you very much.
Especially to any of our friends who are out there. We miss you all very, very much.
Yes.
And all of our teachers at Mendocino College, we miss you very, very much as well. And we just want to say thank you for your support
And your knowledge,
yes.
sharing your teachings.
Yeah. We literally could not be doing this without you, without having been there for us.
Yeah. It's pretty true, yeah.
So thank you to our community and to everyone out there.
Yeah, and this has been
Cricket Cafe #1.
Yeah. It's the official
Featuring Thomas Kenney.
Yes.
And Guibo.
And Guibo. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Wave.